I'm blown away when I see
Yeah.
stuff like this, but then I also kind of get that fear of
Yeah.
there were earthquakes afterwards.
Right, I know. Yeah, I went to Iceland when I was in college, and it was
Yeah.
the first time I've ever seen volcanic rock after it had, cooled down and
Yeah.
everything. It feels like you're on the moon.
Yeah.
It feels like
Yeah.
another planet when you're walking on it.
Oh,
It's
that's
And
so
that
cool.
comparison that you gave, Chris, Iceland is roughly the size of Kentucky and has 30.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Kentucky
With
having
30
30
volcanoes?
active volcanoes? That
Yeah.
is wild to imagine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense how closely packed they are, how densely packed those volcanoes, active volcanoes are. 5:15 here on the clock. We are still waiting another hour before the sunrise. So dark outside for now. Cloud cover is pretty dense overhead. Aren't dealing with much in terms of fog, but that cloud cover is with us. So remember, these are two separate situations that we're working with. That marine layer can come fully onshore. It can extend all the way to the mountaintops. But the issue of whether or not we have fog or not is whether those clouds are low down to the ground or at the middle level of the atmosphere. Right now, they're middle to low. There are a couple spots that could see those clouds drop down and could see some reduced visibility in the coming hours. So we'll watch for it. But for now, we're doing all right. Still looking at a good amount of cloud cover out there. 68 for San Diego and Chula Vista, 65 right now in Santee, and 68 in Carlsbad. This afternoon, enjoy mild temperatures trending about 1 to 6 degrees cooler than normal, but by tomorrow, we're closer to 5 to 10 degrees cooler than normal. Going for 77 in downtown San Diego. I'd say that's generous. There are a lot of indications that point to us maxing out around 75, 76 degrees in downtown. Either way, if we make it to 77, we're 1 degree cooler than normal. Ramona, 5 degrees cooler than normal, and Borrego Springs, 6 degrees cooler than normal for today's afternoon high. Tomorrow is expected to be the coolest day ahead as this trough of low pressure continues to pull in some of that cooler air. But as we get into the beginning of next week, it starts to push off to the northeast of us, and as it does so, it will take that cooler air with it. So while today and tomorrow we have it still kind of sinking down along the coast of the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, and we get that influence of it, by the time we get into early next week, sadly, or maybe to some people's celebration, we'll get the influence of this ridge. That'll help to boost our temperatures yet again into next week. So this break that we get from the heat is going to only last about 2 to 3 days. 79 this afternoon for Fallbrook. We mentioned how a lot of our inland valleys, our western valleys, would make it into the upper 70s as opposed to the 80s and 90s that we were in just 3 days ago. 82 this afternoon for Escondido, 81 for Poway, 78 for Miramar, 79 for La Mesa, 78 out there in Julian. A lot of 70s and almost exclusively 70s and 80s. I mean, a lot of these 80s, again, are even questionable. Poway, for example, all they have to do is miss that by 2 degrees to peak in the 70s this afternoon. Coastline's almost a shoo-in for 70s. Doubtful that any coastal communities will make it into the 80s today. However, as we get into Monday of next week, those temperatures start to climb yet again. We'll make it to the upper 70s at the very least. Start to cool down just slightly going into next week. Maybe an opportunity for another trough of low pressure to come in our direction. You'll notice that warm up and subsequent cool down as your inland valleys come about here. So 82 this afternoon for Friday and for Saturday. Again, there's this ongoing debate as to whether or not today or tomorrow will be the coolest day. Most signs point to tomorrow, otherwise they could match each other. Warming up a little bit into Monday and then sliding again into the middle of next week. Great opportunity to get out across the mountains and deserts this weekend. Mountains are going for the 70s, maybe low 80s. The deserts are going to be in the double digits for tomorrow afternoon. And then we will warm up again by the beginning of next week, and then that slight cool down as well for both of those microclimates too. Chris?